What's up, everybody? Back again for another Star Rail video, and this time we are here for the 3.4 stream recap. I would say spoilers, but they really just plastered this everywhere, right? They were not kind if you're not caught up in the story, and they were not kind if you didn't want to know anything until playing the game. That's one criticism I have of the live stream. They just show everything, right? There's a lot. There's a lot in this one. I'm not gonna lie. There is quite a bit to talk about. I will briefly go over character buffs, by the way. That will be a separate video that will go up later. It is pretty early in the morning. I did take a nap, and thank the Lord above I did, because I would have been absolutely fried trying to watch this and then actually make a video and be like coherent enough to like speak English, you know? So that'll be up later, but let's go over everything and then I'll give my thoughts on it. I will say, slight spoiler on my thoughts, I think the Fate collab is going to hard carry content this update, which is unfortunate because a lot of people always complain about that. So first things first thing they talk about is there's going to be this little event thing that helps summarize like Morpheus a little bit, so that'll probably help people who are a bit confused in the story. And it looks like there are awards. It's going to be kind of like the mem book we have, where we put in like Aglia's story, Anox's story, and then it gives us Jade's for it, right? Then we have the character skip dialogue thing. We talked about this before in the dev notes. Pretty much just says, hey, you're about to skip a cutscene with Herta and Skrillium in it. They talk slightly, and then it shows the character icon, so you can pretty much be like, hey, this is what, you know, this is who's in the story. So if you're hitting skip and then you see an icon of, by the way, vile as hell, they got Herta's flash art and Skrillium looking like a goddamn Genshin character portrait. Anyway, you know, if you're hitting skip and then you see like Phanon pop up, you're like, wait, I don't want to watch this. You can just hit cancel and continue watching the cutscene, which is very, very good, right? I do like how they did it. Then we have the character buffs. You can actually switch into non-enhanced modes. We've known about this. They briefly talked about them. I will go over them slightly. Pretty much it was stuff like HP scaling for Blade and Jinglu, Kafka doing more dot stuff, and then they also talked about the Silver Wolf buffs that they did before. We will be going over the post they made because they talk in more detail about it on that post, so don't forget to subscribe so you can see that video a bit later. But W buffs from the looks of it. Then we have our first look at the new Firefly skin. If I give my thoughts on it, people will jump me. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't really care too much to actually look if Sam's any different. But it's alright. Like, I'll buy it for a video just because it's like the first like real skin. The reason I say real skin is because March has a skin. It is free, but they gave it to the forum that no one is going to use. I've literally only ever used it once for a video, and that was it. At least for Firefly skin, as a character people actually like and use. Well, people like March, you know, but no one in their right mind, unless they really just want to go out of their way to use the preservation version, is using that March, right? But yeah, new Firefly skin. It is going to be paid. It's probably just going to work just like how ZZZ and Genshin, and I was going to say Whoop. Technically, they'll have the same feature. It's probably going to cost a lot if you don't buy it on the discounts to incentivize you buying it with the discounts, and it's probably going to be overpriced in my opinion. I'd love to see if there's new animations or whatnot because they didn't really show too much, but new skin, right? Next up, we have banners. Phanon and his light cone. We are going to be seeing Tingyun, Preservation March, and Yukong, right? This makes sense because in his gameplay, pretty much how he plays is you just want characters who are buffing him to get his ult really fast, right? And my, oh my, also there's new 4-star light cone remembrance, very cool, right? My oh my, did they incentivize on this? Sunday is being reran, right? Clearly for Phanon, right? Sparkle also works with Phanon, right? But she's for a different character that I'll talk about later. And then Triby's just universally good, so Triby is back, right? Then, for Phase 2, we have Firefly. She's getting a skin, right? Obviously. Jinglu and Blade. More than likely in 3.5, which, wow, it's almost like a dot character's coming out in 3.5. It'll probably be Kafka and then Silver Wolf, so you have a chance of getting them, right? I high key, unless you are a massive Blade fan, I really don't recommend summoning on Blade because he is in the standard pool. You'll eventually lose your 50-50 and pull him, I know. It's just, unless you're a huge Blade fan, like, even I'm not gonna summon it, right? There's no way, if I lose to the 50 and pull Blade, like, right after I, go to summon for him, then, like, I feel stupid. Also, what if you summon on Blade's banner and you lose 50-50 to Blade? Is that even possible? Like, are they gonna make you pick a different character? Like, if you have Blade picked, are they gonna make you be like, no, you have to pick like Bailu or something instead? I'm very curious to see how that works on that. Then we have 4 stars, cool and all. Woohoo. We have new Battle Pass light cones, which is vile as hell because this is the update where you would max out the new Remembrance light cone, meaning you pretty much have to just not get one of these new light cones to max out the old Remembrance one. What I will do is probably get 1 copy of each of these light cones, then go back and max the Remembrance one. Unless this Remembrance one is just leagues better. I doubt it. The other one is very, very, very good. But yeah, big W for Battle Pass buyers because, good lord, that was like the Remembrance light cone's the only good one. The rest of them are just not it. So big W there. Now, for events coming in 3.4 that aren't the Fate collab, we have the Origami Bird Clash is coming back, and it's actually replacing the Seal Slammer mode. You know how there's a multiplayer option now? Yeah, turns out there only is going to be 1 multiplayer game mode at a time, so we're losing the goated Seal Slammers for Candy Crush. Yeah, don't speak to me, I'm very upset. Then we have Gifts of the Odyssey. Oh my gosh, wow. Shocker, right? Crazy. Planner Fissure and then Realm of Strange. And then we have the Saber materials and new planner ornaments that they didn't tell us what they do. And then that's it. I hope you like Candy Crush. I hope you like Candy Crush. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, then we have the Hoyoverse stuff that's coming, yada yada, and then they jump right into Fate, right? Now, with Fate is where the crazy shit is. Free Archer, very big W. We get enough character materials to get him to level 60. This is going to be for new players, so they aren't struggling and be like, wow, Archer sucks ass because I can't level him up. You get him level 60, which is really, really nice. Then we have the banners. Saber and Archer have their own light cones. So, I'll be been saving or spending. I'm going to be spending because my ass has, what, like almost 2.5 multis, I think. I just double check. Yeah, so your boy's gonna have to be spending. Luckily, this collab drops on July 11th, which is when I start my 3rd job because it's YouTube. I have I work at as a cashier, right? And then I'm having, I think I talked about this last year. It's like an overnight position at this camp I used to work at, right? So summons are going to be a bit late. I'll have to wait until I get my first paycheck from that, and then I'll just dive in on Saber and Archer. Well, just Saber. We'll see why, right? This is Archer's banner and light cone. Do know Archer is free. They're going to have Eidolons, right? So that is a bit rough. I'm just going to accept that. I'm just not going to bother with Eidolons. Unless their E1 is like absurdly busted, like Tribute level, then I'll think about it, right? But you actually get Archer's light cone for free if you do a total of 200 pulls, right? Now, I'll have to see how many pulls, like someone will post like the pull, like tracker of how many pulls you get in a patch. I don't know if you can get 200. If you have done every single bit of content and you start the game with 0 pulls, I don't know if you'd get enough. I'd assume most people would if you like buy like the login bonus, battle pass, maybe you slightly spend. You shouldn't have a hard time. Sorry for the chair squeak. Yeah, but new players easily they're gonna get it. I'm thinking this is pretty easy get. No, I'm not mistaken. Like there's so many banners, you're probably gonna be summoning on something. Like if you're skipping Phanon, you probably want Tribi in her E1 if you have that. Sunday's light cone's really good. Sparkle for Archer maybe. Like for me, Phanon, light cone, Saber, light cone, I'm hitting 200 pulls. There's no way in hell. If I somehow don't, I'll just go for Tribi E1. If I somehow get that, Saber, or not Saber, Sunday light cone, like I have options, right? I'm getting this no matter what. That way I only have to summon on Phanon, light cone, Saber light cone, and then I'm chilling, right? Then the last thing they talked about is the Fate Stay Night event, which has a lot of Fate references. You have like summons. It's gonna be like the big fighting event, which thank you, it's a fighting event, thank you. Candy Crush was breaking my heart when I saw that. So big W there. I don't know much about Fate, so all the references they made, it kind of just flew over my head. But Lancer's there, so that's pretty cool. He's a Fate character, I know that much. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Fate's kind of hard carrying it content-wise because we really only have the generic like 2x drop events and then Candy Crush, right? The story is going to be absolutely insane though, so I'm locked in for that. But that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about in this video. They did talk about Saber and Archer's kit. Saber wants energy, all that stuff, has like a cool enhanced attack. Archer is a sparkle shill, attacks multiple times over and over, uses a lot of skill points. They had to make a character like Donhang again because, you know, nobody was going to summon for... I almost said for Saber. I don't know why Saber's head keeps popping in my mind. Anyway, nobody's going to summon for Sparkle anymore at all unless they buff Donhang, or they make a Donhang 2, which is pretty much just Archer burning through skill points, and Archer's free, so they're hoping to get people who are like, oh, I really want my Archer to be strong, let me summon for Sparkle. They got it. They got us on lock, bro. There's a reason for every character. Phanon dropping, he's the new character. He's the face of 3.4, right? Sunday is going to be extremely good with him. Sparkle's good with Archer. And then Triby's just universally good with everybody because she's broken as hell. Then, the part 2, Firefly got a new skin, Jinglu Blade got buffs. Like, and then we're going into 3.5 with Kafka and Silverwolf, 100% guaranteed. There's no way in hell they don't rerun them. It's going to be crazy, right? Yeah, but other than that, that's pretty much all there is to talk about. I will do a video on the character buffs, like I said, in a few hours after this goes live. But yeah, I'm going to go to sleep. Let me know what you guys thought of the live stream. Also, there'll be codes in the description as well. I think there's 3 of them. Maybe there's 4. I'd have to double check. They threw a couple on the screen during the Fate stuff and a couple on the screen during the Phanon stuff. So I'll have to double check. I think Hoyo themselves posted it. I really think it's stupid how it only lasts a day for some reason. I mean, hey, what can you do, right? But like I said, other than that, that'll be it for the video. Let me know what you thought of the live stream in the comments below. I definitely think that the events could have been, you know, could have been a bit more. I'm not a huge fan of the Firefly skin, but other than that, I think they did pretty good. Also, they did talk about a future 5-star being free. I forgot to almost mention that because that's definitely going to be on the thumbnail. So that is pretty damn hype. Somehow please be the dot character or the Farina looking chick, just so like I could save a little bit. Thank you, Hoyoverse, I appreciate it. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one.